Go, power poles. Bit of cleaning of power poles again. Hope we don't break anything. There we are. So let's set up some active carbon as well. That should be easy enough to set up. I have some inputs going. You can go on the outside for now. And we'll need an input of 3 things. And 1 out. So 3 and 1. Something like this. And top one will be coal dust. We'll get some zinc. We probably don't have the zinc yet though. But we'll find it very soon. And the last one is the sodium. We should have that. Yeah, we'll start to filter some nitrogen at some point, but for now at least, I just want to get it set up. So I'm quite sure I'll need the filters quite soon. And since we have a ton of coal dust running at the moment, or in the system at the moment, we might as well get some of this cleared out. Let's go to there with you. Because then I have it in the future. It's always nice having something buffered. Active. At active card. Just buffer 500 of you. That should be fine. That's gonna get delivered. That's gonna slowly start building up. And just a bit of power to get it going. Nitrogen height. Here, Kim. Welcome to the stream as well. So nitrogen should be solved over here. We just need this one to unbarrel it. That's luckily easy enough to do. And we can pretty much just expand you down a few more times. Just to have a bit more production for when we need it. That means that this one is making pure nitrogen. Nitrogen we can filter at some point in the future. After you get some active carbon that's going to be produced here. But mostly, also need the microfibers as well. That should be... There's a slot behind botany, so let's just activate you. Good. Then we pretty much just want to set up zinc chloride. That's a zinc plate, which we don't have yet. So I think it's about time we mine some zinc ore. Get some processing up and running. So zinc plates. But what process should we go for? Borax we have, sand, molten zinc. Can't take yet, so Dgray 2 might be the best recipe we should go for now. There we go. That is completely fine. So where do we have some zinc on the map? I have zinc right there and right there. So let's just set those up to get them cleared out. There's no reason why we don't just remove those from the map. So let's see. Try syngas. That is something we have quite a lot of. Or hopefully we still have a lot of. You'll just run from here and clear it out. Nickel, no. Want you to mine zinc ore with this. Oh, that's a lot of syngas. We'll have to move you probably somewhere else. Go. And do we have syngas being moved somewhere? I think we used it at another production area, but we'll just set up a new production. So please output a bit of things for me. Syngas out. Do that instead. And that should mine as soon as you get some barrels. So that is our zinc setup. It's going to clear out what we think we have here and a small amount up here, and then we can take the nickel afterwards. To be honest, we could just set it up right away because syngas we should have more than enough of. Let's just do that, to be honest. Let's get you and place you, let's say, pretty much just be here right below, just to get things cleared out. Let's try that. It'll just be nickel instead. I do like setting up things. I might not need them yet, but I know I'll need them in the future, so might as well set up a bit of production. Otherwise, as soon as I need what's called nickel, I'll have to grab it anyway. So now at least I have it in the system, at least some of it to get started. So that's good. That's just because you're full, that's perfect. So that way we at least have this going for the future. That's moving up to nickel. Perfect. So we were looking at zinc. Might as well just start producing it right here, since that's where we have the rest of our production. So let's just set it up right up here. Let's get in small reports to give ourselves a little production area. How is this going, by the way? It's filling up. Quite good. We just have... oh, we need to increase how many barrels this is flying in. Empty barrel, please. Just set you to 200 request. Got you and paste you right here. It's always stupid when what's holding us back is the amount of barrels that's getting in. That should make sure that more is getting flown in and getting used, and then we should have a much greater output. In terms of this, that is quite needed for all of our titanium mining, among other things. There we go. So we're looking at the zinc production. That is kind of where we're at. So right here, zinc grade 2, zinc grade 1. That requires iron sticks of all things. Always surprising what you need. So a ball mill. I think we're already using that somewhere else. We are. But let's just set up 2 right here. Like for you to zinc grade 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And get 1, 2. like that. I'd like for you to request these things. Right now sticks are being made somewhere else. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. They'll just get flown in, and yeah, that'll be fine. So that's gonna be our zinc grade 1. That's gonna be produced. And grade 1 will be needed for something else. This needs grade 2. That's us in an impact crusher. Do that right next to it. Impact crusher. I've never made one of those before. Let's just get 2, and we could do the same. Oh wait, I have to remember to get 2 of these. Otherwise this will be quite bad. You'll be dying sticks. Let's get 100, that's fine. That way it won't jam when trying to produce things. Now this should at least work. Oh wait. There are 2 impact crushers right next to it. Let's start from the opposite side. 3, 4, 5. There we are. You're quite easy. You just have 1 input, 1 output. So let's get you right there. You can get this one. So now it's all about, should we limit... Oh wait, not uranium, sorry. That's most definitely the wrong one. Zinc. For some reason I want zinc to be green. I don't know why. So there we are. That gives us output of zinc grade 1. That's good. Oh, they look quite cool as well. Like the animations, to be honest. But that is that. Those are just used in normal hot air. That is correct. So we can pretty much just take this part and throw it there. Yeah, press the hot air as usual, please. No, I haven't started the mining or processing uranium yet. I haven't looked into uranium yet, so I'm not quite sure what it's used for. But I should probably start to do it soon. That's not a big increase for that. Oh well, it's fine. It's just hot air. So that is looking mighty fine. And let's just get you right on top there. Not sure if double is too much, but it probably is. Zinc. Zinc plate, if you are above less than 2k, you run. Otherwise, you'll just kind of stop. Yeah, good. These, oh, this should work. They just have 2 inputs. So it should work like this. That's the zinc. That is zinc being produced. That means that we can start to use the... no worries, her. Yishi. It's always good. That's a zinc plate for the zinc chloride. The hydrogen chloride is also somewhat easy to make. You actually use a lamp for it, that's quite hilarious. Don't think I have phosphine gas yet. But I should be able to make this. I should have a ton of sulfuric acid. That is probably needed for this one afterward, and that is used for, oh, fiberboards and starch. So why not just make that in one go? And you get the hydrogen out every time. And I think we made the, we made the sulfur like this last time. Probably not in let's not lose lamps. That's always nice. So this one is going. This has no limit yet. Let's say if we have grade 2 at 2000. Zinc, grade 2 at 2000, you'll stop. This is grade 1. Grade 1 at 1000. Zinc, grade 1 at 2000, you'll stop. That way we at least have a somewhat way of controlling the amount of materials that's flowing through. We don't get a huge amount. That is always good. Go. So that is all for zinc production. That should all be going, at least somewhat organized. So let's see here. You're done. You're fine. Active carbon, chloride. Sulfuric acid. We need sulfur processing. That is actually something we'll have to do to continue. That's actually good to know. So let's mark this one as one we need to do. And the zinc one is done. Perfect. So now we just need the zinc processing done. Then we need the sulfur processing. And then we can get the active carbon to be produced. How is this going, by the way? You're producing quite fast, you're producing faster. I have titanium plate in surplus. That's quite good. That's what we're working towards as well. So now that is going, power is still fine. Our arcs are producing all the power we need with a backup of steam. So while we're at it, should we look at the molten steel recipe? We just need a few things. We have pretty much all of this. Because right now steel is being produced right here at this great speed, but quite inefficient. So why don't we just set up some basic oxygen furnaces? Solve that part. Just give me a few so I can see how you work. And iron is here. We could do steel right next to it. But let's do it. Oil patches over here. Also do it up here, just to get steel a bit away from the rest of our production. There we go. Let's see one of you. Molten steel, molten iron. It's actually also a thing I want to do at some point. Molten copper. Let's take the molten steel first. That requires molten iron. That makes 10 every 4 seconds. This requires 50 every 4 seconds. So we might have some kind of loop here we can use, reusing the oxygen for this. We require 60. We require 60, never mind, we just need the oxygen flown in. So let's see here, we'll need 2 of you. I kind of want to do an entire, what's it called, steel cell. Let's just check one thing. Molten iron. You are used for iron plates. Oh, you can also use for gear wheels and sticks and stuff like that to get increased production. So I kind of want to have all of this flown around in barrels, to be honest. That should be able to give us a lot higher throughput on a lot of things. Yeah, that might be a better way of doing it. So if you make an entire area just for making molten steel, then we'll make one of molten iron, then we make one for molten steel, and then we have everything we need in the network. Molten steel, just used for steel, but we need for stainless steel as well. Yet another reason why we should have it in barrels. Yeah, and we need it in bigger spades, so we'll probably have to make dedicated cells. Or dedicated production cells. Should. So 5 of these. Can we do 5 rows of these? Oh, 1 row of these and then 5 rows of that. It means we'll need 6 rows. How many can fit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can it actually fit in 6 rows? Yeah, because if we do that, what if we do one cell like this? That means we have one of these producing to 5 of the other ones. Isn't that correct? You'll produce iron. You need room for one more thing, and then you'll produce steel. We are exactly correct about the bot travel time. We'll just have to make a bit of room for ourselves right here. Let's make 3 more of these. So we'll have to turn these this way and get the iron in. Then we have molten steel and flue gas coming out. Let's do like this, and then we'll shift these around a bit going forward. No, we can't mix things. That's why I'm turning you. That way we can have inputs as well. Oh wait, it's the other way around, isn't it? Oh yeah, let's do it the correct way. That's... I was about to do it the wrong ratio. This of course 5 iron to 1 steel. That could have been quite bad if we've done that the wrong way. These 5 will go into one of you and get it out, producing 50 molten steel every 4 seconds. You'll just need to hook you up. Yeah. In. Let's try that. Get it up here instead. Just so we have it looking the same. Sulfur done as well, that's perfect. Then we just need a ton of oxygen in. And the other 2, that's fine. That means right here, And I want to turn this so it's the correct way. Let's do it like this first. I need two of you. Because if you want you right here, I'll put the oxygen down. I also need oxygen on this side, but I can go around and around that way. That should be fine. Let's just move you so it looks correct. I want you somewhere around here, maybe. Let's start there and see if we have to move it down. Oxygen out. That'll supply for all of you. Oh. But you will also supply down here. Go, and the last one will just kind of jump. Let's do like this for now. I'm not sure it's the best way, but at least I'll make sure oxygen goes down here as well. And then we have the steel coming out, and that we can put into one of these. We have enough room for one more row of steel. Oh, I have to move this over one, don't I? Do. Want to move it over one. Because that way this goes in, that gives us molten steel. Then we can use over here to go one row further down in case you want more of these. Because in theory, we could take these and expand down a few more times to pretty much 4-double the production of molten steel. Let's just check that this works first before we do anything rash. Steel output over here somewhere. And there should be a bolt to connect up as you want. Molten steel. Also have molten iron as well, but should we hook it up in the same network just to make it easier? Yeah, exactly. Or we could also take these steel iron ones and output to what's called barrels if molten steel is full. So in that way, we'll still use these 5 if we don't need steel, and if we need steel, these will not be used to make molten iron out if we do an overflow valve. That way we'll have all machines being produced or used if one of things are being needed. I think that's a good way to do it. Couldn't in theory do the same in an iron cell, just reversed what we should do as the overflow. And let's try something like that. You'll steal this over here. Molten steel. Do that, that'll be the molten steel in. Has to be there instead. Then we have the molten steel going out here as well if we're doing another row. And then maybe have iron steel running out here somewhere. Hey, XY Nazi. Welcome to the stream again. Ah, doing your lunchtime. That's nice. Let's see if this won't work for what I needed to do. Oh, wait. Oh, you require some... Oh, wait. Did I just do something stupid? No, we should be able to get the items in. It would have been bad if we didn't have room for that. 1, 2 items in. Let's do this. 2. You'll get the borax. Borax. Get 100, that's fine. And of course the processed iron as well. How much do you use? 5 every 4, so 100 might be a bit overkill. There we are. So if we take you and just add you into a few down the line. This needs 2 things in as well. We should be able to fit that in. Or just 1 thing in, to be honest, the coke. That's the items flowing in. Oh, we probably need to give it some fuel as well, it seems. So what if we just make a 3rd one? And then we can have... Is coke quite good as a fuel source? Good. Let's just use coke. That we are producing quite a lot of down the line. Let's try this. And then this one needs 2 in as well. We'll need the power one in. We have the flue gas as well we have to figure out. Fine. And auto powers both. That's fine. That's the perfect way to do it. That's mean coke is going to fly in. That's going to power all of these. That's going to activate all of this as soon as we request some oxygen up here. So let's see if this starts now. It should. That should be a molten iron and a molten steel. Oxygen. You are probably flying from somewhere. Well, you'll get her. There goes the first. There goes the molten iron. Perfect. And then in theory we need to figure out what to do with the flue gas as well. And I can't remember if that is used for that many things. That is used... Oh, active carbon into syngas. Ah! That's actually a good way to get rid of a lot of our flue gas. If you make just one that turns it into syngas. This is way into the future. Also into acid. Let's barrel all of that. But at least we are making molten steel. That is being put into barrels. Right there. Perfect. So, don't have enough boom. We can probably do it above the top then. So we do 1. That'll be a flue gas. And up the top, and then 1, 2, 3. Then we have the iron as well. So let's see if we can make this look the way I want it to. We will need barrels out, barrels out. What if make you flue gas? Please barrel the flue gas. You'll of course go up top instead. Just like that. Yeah, I kind of have to go up top because I'm limited right here by the 2, but we have just enough for 2 up here. So I think that'll be fine. So if we go this way around, that'll be our flue gas sorted in just a second. Means you'll start producing again in just a second. That's that loop done. This one I kind of want for iron. So if we're not making steel, what's called the molten iron will be put into the system. To do that, we will put in an overflow valve that'll make sure the things can go around this way. And I kind of want to do it maybe at the input instead. I don't have to do it on every output. But if we take you out this way, say please come this way. Do just further right there. Could do the overflow valve just right here. Or we can do it over here instead. Let's do right here instead. I'd like to barrel iron, please. But only in the case where we have a surplus. That's what you're gonna solve for us. That's gonna go in, that's gonna fill these barrels. And as you can see, nothing is gonna flow in, even though we have it here, until we have more than 80% in this barrel. And as long as the steel is being produced, we're never gonna get 80% here. But if this one fills up, these molten steel barrels right here, it'll start to go into this one and supply molten iron to the network. It's a way to make sure that you might have dedicated production right here, but in case whatever it's producing for gets filled, you'll still use the last 80% of this network or this cell for different things. So it's an easy way to make sure all of it is viable for the future. So what if we just do this? 1, 2, 3 is what we need. We'll make these one more time. Basic. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Just to get this hooked up and see if we can make one that's useful for both sides and just outputting in here to the middle. Also have to get the steel around this way as well, but that should be fine. To be honest, we could do a, what's it called? Underflow? An underflow valve. Is that what we want? It shouldn't matter if there's backflow into this one. Oh, it's fine. It doesn't matter because this doesn't consume more anyway. So right here we'll do this way, please. Here and here. Also molten iron. Have to flip you, get the oxygen down this way. Get the steel some other way. We'll probably take the oxygen from over here. Or we can move the oxygen over this way. Yeah, let's see what we'll do. Getting this part should be enough for iron throughput. That gives us, oh, let's take the right one. Gives us this one. That can get further down. Oh, thank you for the follow. Widen. 16246. Welcome to the community. So let's see here. How do we make this move over? It should be simple enough. Let's just get this in first. That's all of those. This one up here is going to be a different one. That has to be steel one. Oh, steel. Molten steel in, or molten iron in, sorry. That'll give us molten steel out down here. We'll also do, no, we'll have to do it like this. In theory, we could just move this one down like 1, 2. Just this way. But I kind of want this molten iron to go up this way, but we can probably just drag it across and up. So that is quite a long way around, and I'm not sure I'm quite pleased with that setup. And we jump you this way. Actually can. Molten auction this way. Oh, we can do this. Let's do this instead. Take you again. We'll go down this way. And jump. We need the flue gas as well. That's a bit annoying. That's 1, 2. That doesn't leave us enough room up top for it. Maybe moving to oxygen instead. I'm not against it, but I kind of want to keep this area clear. It's just been something I've been doing normally. So it makes it easy to make sure it's always modular if I do that. That's the only reason why. Otherwise I can easily do it right here. But the reason why I'm not doing it is, as I said, modular. So in case I copy paste this somewhere else and something else has something running here as well, then they won't overlap next to each other. That's a very, very small chance that will happen. But I kind of do it just as a rule of thumb. So in theory, we could also just run it in here. What if we get molten steel out this way? Will this be a good way to do it? Let's try this. This will hook up the steel. That's at least the steel hooked up. Here we could also just move all of this down 1. And this one we'll need to get up top as well. To be honest, it might be easier running that somewhere else. Let's try this. You'll find there. Then we'll just run the flue gas this way. There. You'll go up this way. That's all the flue gas hooked up. That's all the steel hooked up. And then we just need the oxygen in here. And that we can actually get this way. To minimize bot travel time. That's the only reason why. And that's why I'm trying to do it like this. That's flue gas, here's the iron in, then we can hook up the oxygen. Well, we can't do that, but we can do that. This is also one of the reasons, like you, say Blackwise, do a dedicated cells. Don't have to mess with this kind of thing. You can go here. But it is quite fun to do this once in a while as well. That will solve that. This will give us the oxygen over here. Let's see if this doesn't give us exactly what we want. Go. And you'll go out to there. Oh, did we use all the oxygen? We did. But that way we have oxygen flowing around here, giving it to all of these. All of these will get oxygen as well. Jump under here, giving oxygen to this one and that one. The iron goes in, and we just need to hook these two up to have the overflow fill thing. So this should work as soon as we have enough oxygen. Then we should produce steel and iron here, and have quite a lot. Underground, that's fine. Underground. Oh, you're right. Oh, thank you for that. That could have been bad. And nice remembered, by the way, Paishi. Here. That way. There we go. That should be correct. So this should, in theory, work. Yeah, we just need to fix the oxygen. Then we'll go back and look at this one afterwards.